welcome to my friend Varsha Agnihotri Vadhyar. Uh, Today is a bit of a solemn kind of start to this conversation, since what has been happening about women's safety in the last decade and a half or more throughout the world, but more so even in the Indian scenario. Uh, we've been having so many heartbreaks that it's really one more case. And few days all of us will be seething about what has happened in Kolkata to that young doctor. Few days we'll share posts and be angst ridden and talk about it, and then go back to our miserable helpless selves. If we have daughters, sisters, mothers in our home, always thinking that there is this whole sword over our heads, not knowing who's next. I really do not know how to open this topic, but one thing I want to ask you, Varsha. My overwhelming feeling is helplessness, even more than anything else. And there is this seething anger, which as a person who's on a journey to find himself, I do not find both of these as helpful. But when this happens, it's so big and so strong, and uh, you do not know. But do I look at the society? Do I look at my own self? Uh, who do I look at? What do I do? How do you, as a woman, see it?
Firstly, Bunty, the helplessness that we are all feeling and the anger stems from helplessness. The inability to do anything and to realize we are cogs in the wheel that actually don't matter. ये कॉग टूट गया नया लगा देंगे एक डॉक्टर नहीं रही एक और आ जाएगी it's the fact that women and are being treated as disposable items. Okay? तुमको कुछ हो गया मैं दूसरी बीवी ले आऊंगा. I've actually heard of a story where the girl that I knew passed away and the husband and the kids were having a very bad time of it. So much later, a friend called up the husband to ask, hey, how is it going? How are you managing without her? And the husband's answer was, things are beginning to settle. We've got a great cook and we have a lovely new maid and I have nannies for my kids. And now things are settling. This, although it does not pertain entirely to the subject that we're discussing today, it does show us exactly what we feel. Now, the fact is that this could, pertain to anyone. This could apply to anyone, men, women, husband is no more, son is no more, kuch ho gaya, hum manage kar lete hain. But the sheer fact that we think that the wife's and the mother's place has been taken by a nanny, a maid, and a cook. So this is not about, a rape or rabble-rousing or being angry. When this story came out about our friend, I was extremely angry. I was extremely helpless. But the fact is that this is how we look at women. And it isn't only in India. It is all over the world that this is the place of women. Women don't matter. They are second-class citizens. If you look at the statistics, 1 in every 2 women has been raped, abused, molested, financially abused, emotionally abused, physically abused at some point of her life or the other. Even women like me who haven't gone through a horrific incident have traveled in buses, have traveled in trains, and we have faced it right down to simple things like being told that, uh, you know, what is the point of view? You got married and now you're not even doing any housework. You're busy with your work. Or you have no interest. Now, someone like me has no interest in a kitchen. I wouldn't know what to do in a kitchen. On the other hand, in a lot of places, I know what to do. So why do we not think of women as people? And that is where it stems. It's not about a rape. or a molestation. It's about the fact that we need to look at women as people. And that is where the problem begins. My brother's favorite quote is, when you talk to your daughters about safety, talk to your sons about consent. And it's small subliminal things that your son sees that the mother is the one who does everything. Okay? Or things are the mother's responsibility. Or mama se pucho. You know, that is where the son begins to think that the girl's place in life is this, and the boy's place in life is this. Now, I know that a lot of us are trying to change it, and I know a lot of men go up in arms saying, why always blame the men? And I would like at this point to tell the men that I'm not blaming them. Yes, they do manage to use brute force simply because nature made it like that. Okay, women don't have the kind of physical strength that men do. But I blame the parents as much. I blame the mothers as much. When we see that difference between the wife and the sister, the daughter and the daughter-in-law, the daughter and the son. So what has happened right now is that the world is a big fat jumble. There are people who are still treating women like commodities. Okay, shadi mein kya doge?
Yeah.
What is your daughter wearing? Why is your daughter wearing this? Okay, and on the other hand, we see people, which I know I am often guilty of, who tell the boys, no, you must never hurt a woman. You must never do this. So what happens is that either we are filled with rage as women on the way we are being treated, or there's a bunch of men, boys, whom we are trying to bring up correctly to tell them how to treat women, and they are filled with rage because suddenly the world is skewed. It's neither towards men nor towards women. It's towards one or either. The balance is gone. At at one time when the women were being told, "Ghar pe raho, sar cover karo, aise kapde pehno," the men took on the mantle of protectors.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that is good or bad. Now, when women are being allowed to do whatever they want, men are no longer protectors. Men are nothing. How many times do we, including me, say, I don't need a man for this? Which is true. I don't need a man to buy me flowers. I don't need a man to walk me down. But isn't it beautiful when Prashant, and you know him so well, when Prashant does that, that if I get late at work, he comes to pick me up. He doesn't need to. I'm a woman of today. I can manage.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful. So I think instead of blaming and saying we should do this, we should do that, we need to teach our boys and girls that you're equal. And yes, you're both capable of doing whatever you want, but a little kindness, a little humanity, a little love is what is required. You don't have to pick me up as a duty. You have to pick me up because you love me.
Yeah.
My daughter does not have to cook because it's her duty. She has to cook because she loves you. That's your love language. So I think instead of telling people, "Tumne galat kiya, tum theek nahi karte ho," because everything these days turns into a very violent political discussion. Instead of that, we need to teach our people the love language. What is your love language? How do you look after the people? And love language is not only about the people you love. Love language is about humanity. What is your love language? You plant more trees. That's your love language for the earth. You buy organic food for your children, which is something I haven't understood, but
Mm.
that's your love language for your children. My love language for my husband is that I keep my hair long. I know he likes it. How easy would it be for me to say, I don't care, it's my hair and I will do what I want? And I know my husband's going to have nothing to say to it. He'll say, yes, baby, looking nice. That's where it'll end. But do I do that? No. When I see an old person on the street, do I help them carry their bags? Yes. That's my love language for the world. I could very easily ignore that person. It's the same thing when you see a girl in distress. So when these people are protesting outside today, when Nirbhaya, and I refuse to call her Nirbhaya, she is Jyoti Singh. Let us not forget the name. She is Jyoti Singh. She was not a warrior. She was not a brave heart. She was a victim. Let us stop glorifying victims of rape and abuse and violence. They are not Nirbhaya. They are not warriors. They are not fighters. They are victims who have been brutalized and killed. How can you glorify this? In which world is that woman glorified? I know it is not her fault, and there's a lot of victim shaming that happens. Kya kar rahi thi? The principal has gone and said, what was she doing alone in the conference room? She was doing her duty, sir. You have failed in your duty. You failed to ensure that there were cameras. You failed to ensure security. So these are the little things we need to keep in mind. While protests will go a long way in raising awareness, but that is all protests will do. They will raise awareness. There's already been violence today. They've been attacked by a mob. If you read the news on the internet, it's brutal. It's already begun. But at least they are raising awareness, but that is all that they can do. Ultimately, to begin with, we need to find a love language.
Um, I'm like this episode is happening because a friend called up and said that why are you not doing an episode on this? I do have an answer why I do not do episodes like this, because the material and the content that I deal with is timeless.
Yes.
It is about
This is
human.
timeless, Bunty.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Uh, I see that a lot of people might see your answer as far too tame because they are in the throes of the moment and feel
Trust me,
very
it's
angry.
not tame. I will get to that.
Uh,
I
but
will get
my question, okay, now let's just try and do it and do a difficult thing. What does one tell somebody who is related to that lady who went through this? At this point, what is it that we can really say? I'm not even saying platitudes or don't worry or God's wish and I don't know, all kinds of crap that happens.
Auntie, there is nothing to say. If you have something to say at this point to
You
her
already said,
family, we are all seething on social media, we're seething in the news, we're doing podcasts, we're doing interviews where we are saying a lot of stuff. And trust me, I'm not the only one who's saying this. Every single woman and aware man is saying exactly what I'm saying today. We are not saying anything different because there is nothing different to say. In centuries, nothing has changed. And if you have something to say to her family, like God's wish or, stay strong and we are so sorry for your loss, my friend, you have lost empathy. How
yeah,
can words not fail you?
yeah,
How do you have words? How do you have words?
how do you have words?
How do you have words? I have no words. I, I mean, for all my, I'm so aware and I'm so intelligent and I'm so cool. I would not want to be the person who meets her parents. Not just today, ever in my life, ever. What am I going to say that we failed you? We as a world, I'm not even saying a nation, of course, in our nation, the situation is really bad and we will come to that. But the world is turning like this. Suddenly, women have to wear hijabs. Suddenly, women are not allowed to be educated, to do anything. We're going back to that stone age. I hope I never have to face. I'm speechless when my kids ask me questions. I'm completely speechless when my kids ask me questions. What do you do? How do you teach your child? I mean, how do you tell her parents that what happened should not have happened? What do you say? And then when your daughter and your son, mine are 10, when they turn around and ask me a question, how do I answer it? When they say, why did it happen? How does it happen? They want to know the house, their children, they're growing up. They want to know what this is. They haven't faced it. They come from a very protected environment. And when the Jyoti Singh case had happened, I remember I was very angry If you watch the vagina monologues, there's a whole monologue about it now. I was really angry and I was sitting and I had a show in the evening. And my house help, the lady who works in my house, she said, Didi, पता नहीं क्यों आप लोग इतना गुस्सा हो रहे हो और मोर्चा निकाल रहे हो. ये तो रोज की बात है. That is how normal brutalizing a human being is. And brutality takes many forms. Not just against women, against men too. An MLA gets up and slaps the manager of a bank, which is also in the news yesterday. Brutality. The Calcutta case happens. Brutality. The girl who steps out to take a bus in the middle of the day. Brutality. Asifa. Brutality. War. Brutality. Which is why a love language is required. What did you achieve? And, sorry, Bunty, I'm going to cut you off. There's someone I know very well, whom I no longer talk to. And he said, this is only, the death penalty is only in the rarest of crimes. My question is, should not this be a rare crime? Why is it so commonplace? Why is it so commonplace that we don't call it the rarest of crimes? Why? Who did that? Who made that law and why has it not been changed? Who said that a rapist gets parole? Who's in jail? Who says Bilkis Bano's rapists are going to be going scot-free and be garlanded because the crime is not rare?
It's not.
It's not rare. How dare we let anyone get away with this? And here we will question the lawmakers. Because we voted you into power. I love the way, and I'm sorry I'm going political. I had sworn I wouldn't. But we say the ruling party. There is no ruling party. You're a serving party. Never forget that. You're a serving party. Serve the nation. Don't rule the nation. Do not rule the nation.
Public
Make
servants.
laws. Yes, do make laws for the country. And how vulnerable are the women of your country? It doesn't matter that Indira Gandhi was the prime minister. It does not matter, because what happened in the world of Indira Gandhi and what is happening in the world that's existing right now, where is the difference? It's just a little worse.
Do you
So-
think any systematic work should be done? And if there are, so for example, our kids are growing up now, your kids, my kids. Is there any systematic learning that can be, obviously as parents and as a society, whatever kids in our society? So when I see kids playing and even a brother and sister playing, wherever I go, there are these very little kids. The girl was crying and walking up the stairs. And I made the bhaiya stop and say sorry to this. What the hell are you doing, man? It was a typical sibling tiff at that point of time. But the whole thing of, okay, look, you cannot take advantage of being a guy and doing this, because it needs to be said when they are listening.
Yes.
So on that front, I agree with you. But my question is, so I have two questions coming up. One is definitely what is the systematic changes we can do. So I want to give you a personal context. A friend of mine feels very, very strongly about this, and we've been talking about the ministers going scot-free and a lot of things like that happening some time back. Big names were in the news, both sides, the women who were being wronged and the people who were doing it. So he remembered that last year or around Nirbhaya's time or something, Jyoti Singh's time at that point of time, he had got pepper sprays and he was giving it to all the women. Carry it and damn it, देखेंगे क्या होता है. They didn't even open it and see how it works. He was so enraged. He says, you think it is a small thing, safety. Why are you not being careful when you are being asked to? Abhi itna, see, I know it's not an answer. I agree. And it may not even be my style of expression. I am unsure about where I stand on that. But in his heart, I have no question. This is the way to go about things. If you need to be safe, you need to be safe. And this morning, my friend said landed up saying that I've been telling all those girls who are willing to listen to me, who are close to me, including my kid and others, that do not judge yourself if something like this happens, and just let it be.
Very important.
It's okay. It is not an indicator of anything. It's just an unfortunate, sad thing, but let it not define who you are. But today my friend said, usko to maar dala, abhi kya? And I had nothing to say. What do you say? These days the crimes are now murder goes along with this. And then you feel, I said, look, I don't have an answer. There are obviously in my own path of self-evaluation, understanding of karma, cause and effect. We are all paying for who we are and what we've done earlier. And there is no question in my mind. Whatever happens to me has to happen to me because मेरा पहले का क्रेडिट कार्ड स्वाइप हो चुका है, अब पेमेंट टाइम है. But it hurts, man. The humanity of the hurt cannot be just justified as कि ठीक है ना, अब क्या ही करें, कार्मिक है. This is not the society you want to create. जितना तुम्हारे हाथ में है तो how do we do this systematic thing? How do we educate women to be more careful and stronger? Because while the changes might come, I do not even know if they will come honestly, but we need to be safe. मतलब the evidence has been wiped off already. What are we even talking? मतलब ये ना open है कि जाओ हम तो कर लेंगे, तुम देख लो जो करना है. It's not about the woman anymore. It is about us. It is being like you're being slapped in public and saying कि कर लो जो करना है. The system is against you, अभी कर लो. So what is, मतलब as a woman and as a person who's been vocal about her feelings about a lot of things, like I want to put this on record because on camera I have not said it. I've told you that I am intimidated by the person that you are always because of the way you are so vocal and you stand up. It is a refreshing change to see. I like the fact that you own your space. Not that it makes me comfortable because I am careful and I am. ये क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए दुर्गा और काली का रूप कि तुमको जो भी मेरे सामने बोलना है ना तो बोलो बिंदास, मगर रिपरकशंस होने वाला है भाई. You cannot get away with seeing idiotic things or looking at me like one of these abla naris. And so you have that vibe, and whenever you enter the room I know okay, I'm far more comfortable with Prashant as a weak person like I am. And suddenly saying Varsha hai, so I need to be a little careful, and I don't look down upon you. I look up to it. I said हाँ ये थोड़ा दिखना चाहिए. Time and again थोड़ा fear in the heart of men होना चाहिए कि साला इसके साथ कि be careful, be respectful. Of course you have to be loving. माने you have brought her in the family, in the friend circle. यहाँ तो बात मत करो ना, खत्म करो. Acting मत करो. So my question to you is, how do you define a system? How do you create a system which is more adaptable to all of others, not just yourself?
So, Bunty, firstly, I'm going to respond to something else that you said, that we tell our girls, don't judge yourself, okay? Which I understand. It isn't only about a rape, it's about the violence that goes with it. It puts PTSD in you forever. You know, COVID, you remember we were all working to support other people, working in whatever way we could.
Yeah.
And everyone I know was. So I'm firstly very proud of the people that I know for the compassion that they come with. You would hear ambulances all the time, and you knew that most of these ambulances that are carrying people are not going to bring them back.
Yeah.
Okay. Even today, when I hear an ambulance on the street, I panic. My heart sinks. This is something that did not happen to me. My family did go through a lot of shit during COVID in Delhi, but they came out of it safe. Okay. Now, but so many years, and I'm someone who remained unaffected except that time when I was stressed about organizing oxygen cylinders or getting beds. And thankfully, we were financially able enough to get those oxygen cylinders. There were a lot who were not.
Yeah.
Okay? So technically, nothing happened to me. Okay? My family remained safe. They survived it. Yet, when I hear that ambulance, my heart sinks. I send up a prayer. Now imagine a girl going through something that probably a soldier at war goes through, except the soldier has a gun in his hand. This girl's got nothing. Not even her voice. Her screams go unheard of. You can forget the rape that happened. How do you forget the helplessness, the sheer wish that I wish I would die now? And I'm talking hypothetically. I'm only imagining. And I want to right now burst into tears or commit a violent act. Now, imagine the girl who's gone through it. She's not judging herself. She's living with PTSD. We need to get her into therapy immediately. That's one. Two, uh, we need to stop judging them. Again, it's really sad that someone like me, whom I've known all my life, who's been a childhood friend, once fired her house help because the house help got pregnant. She said, Abhi, dekho, she must have been rijhawing the Maharaj. She was not rijhawing the Maharaj. She was doing her housework. The Maharaj raped her. The Maharaj is still working in your house because he's a very good Maharaj who works at a very good cost. But that girl was let go of for getting pregnant. Nothing was done. We need to stop judging rape victims, stop glorifying them. It takes them years. Vinta Nanda, okay, who's a friend of mine, and I bow my head to her for what she went through and none of us knew.
Yeah.
It took her, what, 30 years before she could come out and talk about it at the hands of a friend of hers. And then how many of us stood up, which means how many people have gone through it. So firstly, we need to stop glorifying it, glorifying the victims. They are victims, VICTIM. Do not lose sight of that fact. They are victims. Don't judge them. They didn't do it. They didn't bring it upon themselves. There was an exhibition of clothes that women were wearing when they were raped. There were saris, there were burqas, there was a diaper, a 2-year-old kid's diaper. She did not ask for it. So stop saying, but, asked for it. Rijhaud the Maharaj. Thirdly, stop brushing it under the carpet. When that happens, a lot of parents, mothers specifically say, चुप रहो, किसी को बताना मत. क्यों नहीं बताना? उसने थोड़ी कुछ किया है. उसकी क्या गलती है? वो क्यों छुपते रहे पुलिस की? क्यों छुपते रहे? तुम्हारे बेटे तो खुले आम घूमते हैं करने के बाद. अभी ये वाले भी घूमेंगे. बिल्किस बानो वाले भी घूम रहे हैं. ओके, वो ज्योति सिंह वाला जो अंडर एज था, जिसको आप छोड़ दिया है, क्यों? उसने क्राइम तो अंडर एज वाला नहीं किया था. उसने टॉफी तो नहीं चुराई थी किसी बच्चे की. उसने क्राइम तो बहुत एडल्ट किया था, फिर क्यों छोड़ा? So we need to stop brushing it under the carpet. If Jyoti had not died, we would not have heard about it. It would have been one police case somewhere. Okay, and nothing would have happened. So we need to stop brushing it under the carpet and making the girl feel bad about what happened to her. She had no say in the matter. Zero say in the matter. So stop doing that. Fourthly, educate your sons. Tell them that when you do this for your pleasure, fun, proof of strength, because it's not about, that pleasure that, oh, I had sex. That's not what you did. You did it for power. It was a power play. You proved to the girls that I can sort you out. That for that one thing, you have ruined multiple lives. It's the same as killing a person. The parents will never get over it. The siblings will never get over it. The women at large and the men who support them, who understand us, will not get over it. We'll be looking over our shoulders for the rest of our lives, and we do. I'm not at an age where I should be looking over my shoulder, but I do. I look over my shoulder all the time when I'm walking with my umbrella. My thumb is always on the button, ready to press because it'll shoot out and hit the person next to me. I'm thinking of violence. Look where we've come. That a peace-loving woman like me is thinking of violence. So that is the other thing. We need to stop telling the girls to be careful alone. Of course, they need to be careful because there's nothing, when we say that, oh, but why should the girls? Here's something I want to say to the girls. When you say my body, my rules, and you wear whatever you want, and then we see you on the street with half your body hanging out, you have, my friend, played into their hands because now they are looking at you unabashedly. You do wear what you want, but do it with confidence. Don't do it for badla, and dress appropriately. There is absolutely no need to be taking a train in that. The film stars and the influencers that you copy are not actually dressed like that. They are wearing their track pants. They are only wearing that for the Instagram, while you are taking it to the streets. For what? You do need to know about your own safety. Please do not put yourself in danger. That is something I would say to the women. Firstly, dress appropriately. Secondly, I'm a very non-violent person, but in this case, yes, carry that pepper spray. It is something I would tell not only to the girls, but also to the boys. What if a boy is being mugged? He needs to protect himself. Carry that pepper spray. Learn how to defend yourself. Go for self-defense classes. Absolutely do. So these are things that parents are teaching the children. Raise your voice. My kids know that you have to instantly start screaming on top of your voice, something that my father taught me. Okay. Secondly, if you're stranded, find the nearest Gurdwara. It depends on what you have faith in. I have faith in Gurdwaras. Find the nearest Gurdwara. You will be helped because, well, that's just the way they are. They can't seem to be able to help them. They just have to help themselves. They just have to do stuff. Find the nearest Gurdwara. Give them tips like that. Going to the police station, I don't know how far it helps. There was a recent incident where a guy in Bombay was hitting his girlfriend, and another girl took that girl to the cop station. The cops told her, "You are so lucky to be living in Bombay." I want to say up yours to them. We are lucky to be living in Bombay, dude. You didn't do anything for that. It's the people of Bombay who've done it. The people of Bombay who make it safe. That there was a girl who took a stand. The cops did jack shit. And pardon my French, I'm really seething. So these are things that we need to teach people around us. The very, very important thing is don't give it a political or a religious twist. What does the name of the rapist matter or the victim matter? It was a man who did it to a woman. What does the party matter? The party is not controlling the thoughts of every person in there. So Rahul Gandhi or Narendra Modi ji or Mamata Banerjee do not personally know that person to school in. But it does flow from the top, put in places things that will sensitize them. So, but having said that, we'll come to that point. Stop giving everything a religious and political twist. It is not an opportunity for you. It isn't. कि अरे ये तो बहुत टाइम पे हुआ, चलो अब ममता बनर्जी की गवर्नमेंट गिराते हैं, देखते हैं कौन कौन बोलता है. Everyone's job is not to speak on the same subject. People speak on animal welfare, people speak on education, people speak on safety, people speak on entertainment, financial fraud. Pick a cause, stick with it. You don't have to be part of every cause, and stop asking people to be part of every cause. देखते हैं किस फिल्म स्टार ने क्या बोला. Oh, get over it. They don't have to. They may be, it's like me. A lot of stuff happened in between. I did not say a word on social media. That doesn't mean it's not bothering me. It just means I have no words. I have no words, and no one is safe. So that is it. This is specifically for politics. Stop looking at it as an opportunity. The girl's death is not an opportunity for you to raise your voices against Mamata Banerjee. It's an opportunity for you to raise your voice against violence and sensitize your own people. That's very important. So, but some things that I do see happening, which are very lovely. Now, I'm sorry, I'm also going to drink my coffee while we're talking, Bunty.
Yeah, please.
So, yeah. So while, when I was in school, we had sex education. and everyone was horrified that bachchon ko sex education. I realize now how important that was. So when I put my children in school, the first question I had asked was, which religious prayer? What is the school prayer? Okay, it was non-religious. Point one in their paper. Point two, do you have sex education classes? They said yes. That worked. Now I realize that they have, instead of starting sex education classes at the age of 13, they are starting at the age of 10, which is wonderful. The post-COVID generation is maturing much faster.
Yeah.
Okay, and the kids have access to internet. We didn't know anything. So I see schools doing this. There's a school in Bombay which, for its class 11 and 12, regularly does shows of the vagina monologues to sensitize the children, after which there is a long discussion about it, where you hear things like, I feel unheard. No one told me this. Because it's been happening for so long, we've normalized it, we're desensitized. When we see kachra on the road, we don't react to it. We're not sensitive to it anymore. It's part of our lives. There's no brushing, it's the elephant in the room. We're just walking around it. We're not even bothering to brush it under the carpet anymore. So it's not even being brushed, it's the elephant in the room. But I do see schools at their level. I do see the Bombay police, much as I've just spoken against them. They regularly host the shows of the vagina monologues to sensitize their police force. Now, this probably is one of the things they are doing. Okay, this is one of the things they are doing. I'm sure they are doing other things. So,
Yeah.
but I see the efforts are being made on a very small scale. One police department in one city, one slum, whoever heads them, doing it in the slums, educating them, getting a gynecologist to come and talk about how to deal with anything at all, where men are welcome to listen. Okay, schools doing sex education. Uh, in my children's school, the girls don't wear skirts. Both wear trousers. And one of the sweetest things, and I felt vindicated at that time when my children had to write on equality last year. They were 9, they were younger, they were 8. They had to write on equality. And everyone wrote about how, all kinds of equality. And my son's, he didn't win anything, by the way. He got a big fat 0 because apparently he didn't write what was supposed to be written about. But he wrote that, to me, equality is women being able to do whatever they want without fear. Also, men being able to do whatever they want without fear. That if the woman wants to wear pants, she is welcome to it. If I want to wear a skirt, I'm welcome. So these are the small misogynistic things that happen, that the girl must do whatever she wants. Ranveer jokes about it. Why? That's equality. The man is wearing a skirt. He felt like it. So misogyny is not only when we talk about against women, it's also when we talk about against men. क्या आदमी है देखो घर में खाना बनाता रहता है, अरे वो तो हाउस हस्बैंड है, क्यों भाई, वो क्यों नहीं हाउस हस्बैंड हो सकता है? In that difference between men and women, boys and girls in our children's heads, that women, now we are saying women can do whatever they want, but men can't.
Hmm.
So men cannot do these things. So these are the things that we need to keep in mind. On small scales, I do see things happening. I do see people talking to their sons and daughters. And I find hope in that. But on a larger, systemic, global level, we do need to, every school, it must be important, every school and college, talk about women and men. What is with the banning of jeans in colleges? Who said that? Who said that? I come from one of the most premium institutions in the country. We did what we wanted. We were taught to do what we wanted. Now, suddenly there are other colleges saying don't wear jeans. So these are things that need to be stopped. We need to stop making fun of men who are doing anything that has traditionally not been done by men. Okay? अरे फैशन डिजाइनर है, वो तो लड़की है, क्यों भाई? लड़कियां भी तो फैशन डिजाइनर्स होती है। कौन कहता है कि फैशन लड़कियों की बपौती है, नहीं है ना? Anyone can dress well. Safety, firstly, the crime should warrant an equal punishment. You have ruined lives, not a life, lives. You have ruined lives. Calcutta wale case mein, there's a neighbor who's talking on camera. She, you can see, is traumatized. You can only hear her voice. Her face has been blurred. She is traumatized. That lady is just a neighbor. Is she ever going to get over this? It's a child you've seen growing up. So, we need to stop, and it's very easy to say we need to stop it. We need to make the punishment commensurate with the crime. Right now, they know, अरे निकल जाऊंगा 6 महीने में, अरे 2 साल की कैद होगी, उसमें भी 5 बार पैरोल पे बाहर आऊंगा, उसके बाद में पॉलिटिकल टिकट मिलेगा मुझे. So raping someone currently is a reward. You get a reward, you don't get a punishment. So there need to be stringent lines for punishment. That needs to be done on a legal level. It needs to be done urgently, and it needs to be done now. Secondly, there needs to be now, the government needs to put things in place, security cameras, major security. Train your security personnel. Have you seen the security people everywhere? They are large bellies, untrained, cannot run. Okay, वो क्या भागेगा किसी criminal के पीछे? Uncomfortable clothes. Why are security people wearing shirts and ties and caps and formal shoes? Dude, his job is security. Give him sneakers and track pants so that he's able to run. Are our sports people going to play sports in formal shoes? No. Do we go swimming in formal clothes? No. It is not a glamour job. They are not there for the glamour of it. Look at our liveried watchmen. They don't have to be liveried. What's wrong with you? They have to run after a criminal. Give them decent, comfortable clothes. Don't give them train them. Because while we can, on a global level, on an Indian level, on a personal level, train our boys and our girls and talk to them, there's always going to be crime. There's even crime in countries which have really stringent laws. Crimes will happen. There will always be that person with a criminal mentality. So how are we going to stop that person with the criminal mentality? By putting laws in place, by putting safety measures in place, by giving them the power and the responsibility and sensitizing them. Let women not be told कि आप hospital के अंदर ड्रेस पहन के नहीं आ सकती हैं, आप शलवार कमीज पहन के आ सकती हैं. And I'm a woman who's a big advocate of dress appropriately. You don't have to dress however you want everywhere, but let them not be drunk on power. Teach them about their responsibilities too. That you cannot let a guy in, just pay them better. जो इंसान आपके गेट पर बैठा है 5,000 की सैलरी लेकर के, उसको कोई 20 रुपए का नोट देगा, वो आपको जाने देगा. Because he is thinking of the daughter he has to feed at home. He is not thinking of the safety of your daughter. Pay them better, increase salaries, give them reason to actually do their jobs. Right now, they have no reason to do their jobs. He's getting a salary of 5,000, 10,000, 80% of which he sends back to the village. He's not doing this job because he's fit or he's committed to it. He's doing that job for the 7,000 rupees he's going to send to his village. Give him reason to do it. Like people who actually want to do it come there. So, and this will only happen when you pay them sufficiently, when you empower them, when you teach them their responsibilities. It's not going to happen with a guy who's sitting out there doing this. So you can suspend all the security people who were there. You can fire them. You can do what you want. It's not going to stop this, because the next guy who comes in is going to be exactly like this, thinking of sending the 7,000 rupees home at the end of the month and making those 20 rupees under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is not trained. If a guy actually comes in and uses force, he doesn't know what to do. He has no idea. He's one guy who one day came from the village and was told, भाई ये नौकरी करोगे? हाँ सर करूंगा, जाओ वहां पे बैठ जाओ, ये रही तुम्हारी यूनिफॉर्म. So it's a very large thing, and this crime has not stopped ever since The earth existed. You look at a mythology, it even exists in mythology. ये तो real life है.
I think the one thing that I like about your extremely longish answer was the fact that you covered a lot of aspects in terms of systematic stopping, personal culpability, social understanding, personal responsibility for women themselves. This is something that I've been talking to friends, and once or twice they don't like it. But but you clarified it very well that when you're going to a party, you can wear what you want. You're sitting in a car, you're going there. So it's comparatively safer. The space is known to you, preferably most of the time.
And even then,
Vis-a-vis,
you are always at risk.
try and be as careful as you can be. It is your mind, your body. You need to safeguard it, like every man should either. Like
Yes, men
wherever
are
we
equal to
go,
this.
we
Not of rape, but
certain,
of various other things.
huh. So I like the fact that you have interwoven all of them like one big narrative, but it also starts with the individual and also and goes to the point of where systematic changes should come in, including the law, which needs to be tightened around this. What I like is instead of getting into the law itself, you went to the reasoning of the law, how we need to perceive it. That is something that is being not discussed enough. It wasn't even a couple of months back when people who are known to the world for their achievements were going through this.
Yes.
There are others. So at every point, this happened during the Me Too movement also. There were so many women who we look up to as empowered, but you realize that they are not as empowered as you thought they
Yeah.
were. And oh, this is the West, so it does everything right. Oh, there is no such thing. There is no West, no East.
Nothing.
Let's humanize both parties, make them culpable,
Yes.
responsible. Uh, I do not know how many answers we've come up with, but I just hope that there is a common voice of humanity speaking through us.
Yes.
We've taken some names, but they are not about the names, but what they stand for.
And it's nothing about,
It's
yeah,
what
what
they
they stand
stand for.
for.
Yeah, and I like the fact that I chose you to speak to because this is exactly what I expected, that I will not be able to control your narrative, which is something I did not want to.
I'm
I
sorry, but I just
I
went on
wanted,
a tirade.
I wanted a voice which speaks all the emotions that we feel at this point of time. Just a minute or so back when you were talking, I felt that now it looks okay. I can breathe a 5%, 10% easier. It's obviously it is still 90% there
Of
because the
course,
event itself is earth shaking,
horrific.
uh, is completely unimaginable.
It is.
Um, may all that have to suffer anything like this, or even on the surface of it, any kind of unfairness, male or female, may all find peace. Let us all pray that however difficult things get, we do not lose uh, the
We do not
ability to
become,
work on humanity.
and that we do not become a part of the problem.
That I think that though is primary even before the prayer itself. You need to ensure that whatever you need in terms of education, in terms of taking responsibility, male, female, whatever age you are, whatever role you are playing in the society, that you talk about what you think is important. You
Yes.
spread the word with
Yes.
kids, your friends, your families, whatever is possible. And yeah, may wisdom guide us all. What can
May
I say?
wisdom guide us all into that heaven of freedom.
Yes, yes, into that heaven of freedom. Thank you so much, and
Thank you, Bunty.
I hope you find peace as well. Uh,
I hope we all do.
yes,
Thank you.
thank you.